For decades, the high desert mesa of Skinwalker Ranch stood as an impenetrable stone wall in the heart of Utah's Uinta Basin, a towering geological mystery that seemed to actively resist human inquiry. Local indigenous legends warned for centuries that the mesa was not merely a cliff face of sandstone and shale, but a hollowed-out fortress housing forces far beyond human comprehension. Modern researchers who attempted to breach its perimeter faced sudden equipment meltdowns, unexplainable physical illness, and localized magnetic interference that made heavy drilling virtually impossible. Every attempt to peer beneath the mountain felt like knocking on a door that was locked from the inside by an invisible, highly defensive hand. That lock was finally shattered in an extraordinary high-stakes excavation operation that altered the history of anomalous research forever. Driven by years of gathered seismic cross-sections, ground-penetrating radar sweeps, and cosmic ray muon tomography, the scientific team positioned specialized heavy excavation equipment directly at a collapsed fracture line along the mesa's base. Guided by sensor data showing a massive structural void running deep into the cliff face, the drill crews pushed past crushed rock, hardened clay, and fallen debris. They weren't just drilling into natural geological strata. They were hunting for a pathway into a buried subterranean architecture that had remained concealed from the modern world for generations. Then, deep into the excavation, the heavy diamond core bit hit something that made the entire rig shudder violently. The grinding sound of metal against stone suddenly ceased, replaced by the hollow, echoing roar of air rushing into an empty chamber. The crew had punched through the final structural barrier. As drill operators backed off the machinery and deployed multispectral snake cameras down the borehole, the live video monitors inside the command center captured a sight that rendered the scientists completely speechless. Beyond the crushed outer stone lay a perfectly formed, vaulted tunnel stretching deep into the darkness of the mesa floor. This was not a natural water-carved cave, nor was it an abandoned 19th-century mining shaft. The walls of the newly unsealed passage were uniformly smooth, vitrified, and coated in a dark metallic glaze that reflected the camera's light array with a mirror-like sheen. The surrounding rock face appeared to have been subjected to temperatures so extreme that the natural quartz grains in the sandstone had melted and fused instantly into a seamless, ceramic-like conduit. As astrophysicist Dr. Travis Taylor, Chief Scientist Eric Bard, and Superintendent Thomas Winterton gathered around the monitors, the true scale of what they had uncovered began to set in. The team had successfully unsealed the legendary hidden tunnel of Skinwalker Ranch, a physical doorway leading straight into the dark belly of the mesa. But as the first remote diagnostic probes descended into the ancient passage, the initial wave of excitement was replaced by a cold, gripping tension. The tunnel was not abandoned, nor was it silent. Deep within its vitrified walls, an active, hyper-advanced system was beginning to react to the fresh air and light of the outside world, setting off a chain reaction that would challenge everything science knows about energy, mass, and space-time itself. As the remote diagnostic crawlers rolled past the threshold of the newly opened passage, the environmental sensors built into their chassis began logging physical data that defied standard thermodynamics. Inside the vitrified conduit, the ambient air temperature plummeted rapidly from 60 degrees Fahrenheit near the mouth to well below sub-zero levels within 40 feet of entry. This was not the natural cool chill associated with subterranean caverns. The extreme cold was localized, sharp, and accompanied by an immediate total drop in localized humidity, as if energy was being drawn out of the immediate atmosphere by an immense, subterranean thermodynamic sink. Simultaneously, optical feed arrays illuminated the interior construction of the passage, revealing structural features that shattered any possibility of natural formation. The tunnel maintained a uniform circular diameter of precisely 12 feet across its entire visible length. The mirror-like dark glaze lining the interior displayed no tool marks, blast fractures, or structural seam lines. Instead, the material exhibited properties consistent with advanced additive manufacturing or directed thermal vitrification, a process where high-density energy beams vaporize rock, instantly hardening the molten residue into a high-strength ceramic hull. Deep within the stone floor, embedded directly beneath the glazed surface, the crawlers mapped a series of metallic-like conduits running parallel down the length of the shaft. When a localized electromagnetic probe was extended from the lead crawler to sample the conduit material, the digital telemetry streams inside the command center flared with activity. The background 1.6 GHz digital carrier wave, long logged as a sporadic aerial signal across the ranch, spiked in direct physical unison with the crawler's contact. The signal was originating from within the tunnel walls themselves, propagating along the embedded metallic conduits as an active, high-bandwidth data network. Chief Scientist Eric Bard and Dr. Travis Taylor examined the real-time spectrum readouts in disbelief. The 1.6 GHz transmission wasn't merely broadcasting, it was modulating its frequency step in direct response to the crawler's electrical pulses. Every time the diagnostic probe sent a low-voltage test pulse into the vitrified floor, the subterranean conduit returned a phase-locked response, echoing the pulse with absolute mathematical precision. The team was not looking at an ancient, dormant burial site or a long-abandoned geological anomaly. They were standing at the entrance of an active, self-monitoring technological installation. As the diagnostic crawler pushed another 50 feet deeper into the dark shaft, its directional magnetometers recorded the ultimate anomaly. The baseline magnetic field within the core of the passage suddenly dropped to absolute zero Gauss. The planet's ambient magnetic field, which penetrates all natural stone and earth, was completely expelled from the interior of the tunnel. This phenomenon, the complete expulsions of magnetic flux, is the hallmark signature of the Meissner effect, occurring exclusively when a material transitions into a state of total superconductivity. The team had uncovered proof of a room-temperature superconducting conduit built straight into the bedrock of the Uinta Basin, insulating a central chamber that remained hidden further down the dark, freezing passage. The confirmation of a room-temperature superconducting system inside the vitrified shaft completely reframed the team's operational strategy. Standard exploration methods were immediately halted as safety protocols inside the command center escalated to high alert. Pushing physical equipment deeper down a corridor that expels magnetic fields and operates at sub-zero temperatures meant entering an environment governed by non-classical physics, where a single, ungrounded electrical spark could trigger a massive electromagnetic reaction. To probe further without risking the structural stability of the Mesa, Dr. Travis Taylor and Eric Bard deployed an autonomous heavy-duty crawler equipped with non-contact quantum sensors and high-density LiDAR systems. As the crawler rolled down the zero-Gauss corridor, its laser scanners projected millions of microscopic light points onto the mirror-like walls, assembling a precise three-dimensional digital rendering of the subterranean void on the command center screens. The rendering revealed that the circular passage didn't descend indefinitely into the earth. After 200 feet, the vitrified walls widened dramatically into a massive, cavernous vault buried directly under the center of the mesa. The scale of the subterranean vault was staggering, a subterranean hall spanning over 100 feet in diameter, completely enclosed in the same dark, seamless ceramic glazing. Suspended at the exact geometric center of this subterranean vault hung the source of the ranch's centuries-old phenomena, a dense, 30-foot spherical structure that appeared to hover entirely unattached to the floor, walls, or ceiling. Optical feeds from the crawler showed no supporting cables, struts, or magnetic pedestals. The massive core was held in total, motionless suspension, suspended in midair inside the zero magnetic field. Around the perimeter of the hovering core, the crawler's thermal imaging sensors registered an extraordinary phenomenon. While the subterranean room maintained a freezing sub-zero temperature, the air directly encircling the floating sphere was superheated, glowing with a soft, thermal halo that registered over 400 degrees Fahrenheit without emitting any visible flame or exhaust. The energy containment was absolute. The heat was trapped within a razor-thin spatial envelope just inches from the core's surface, preventing thermal transfer into the surrounding room. As the crawler moved closer to map the sphere's surface density using cosmic ray muon telemetry, the precision atomic clock mounted on the probe's chassis began to drift. The time-tracking telemetry sent back to the surface trailer slowed down relative to the primary atomic clock running inside the command center. For every 60 seconds that passed on the surface, the clock inside the subterranean vault registered 59.998 seconds. It was definitive, empirical proof of microsecond time dilation, a localized warping of space-time geometry caused by extreme energy or negative mass density concentrated within the suspended core. The scientific team watched the incoming data feeds in stunned silence as decades of speculation collapsed into hard quantitative physics. The suspended sphere was not a passive artifact or an inert rock formation. It was an active zero-mass core, a localized spatial engine generating its own internal gravitational field. The mysterious airborne phenomena, the radio frequency spikes, and the gravitational anomalies recorded across the ranch surface over the years were not separate, random events. They were the external emissions of this subterranean engine, operating continuously beneath the Uinta Basin for untold centuries. The realization that an active spatial engine hung suspended beneath the mesa triggered a dramatic shift in operational security. Within hours of documenting the time dilation metrics and the floating zero-mass core, Brandon Fugal joined the research team inside the command center to review the incoming diagnostic telemetry. The scientific implications were staggering, but so were the immediate tactical realities. The team was no longer simply documenting anomalous phenomena on a private Utah ranch. They were occupying the surface directly above a technology that surpassed the sum total of known human aerospace. Engineering. During the emergency briefing, Dr. Travis Taylor presented a detailed cross-sectional analysis combining the tunnel's LiDAR scans with wideband frequency logs. The data revealed that the suspended 30-foot core was not an isolated engine operating in a vacuum. Branching out from the base of the subterranean vault were secondary vitrified conduits, identical to the main entrance shaft, extending outward like an underground root system into the deep bedrock. These subsurface channels didn't end within the boundaries of the 512-acre property. Seismic array maps showed them following major geological fault lines deep beneath the Uinta Basin, plunging miles into the Earth's upper mantle. As the team traced these deep structural pathways, wideband radio spectrum receivers logged a dramatic shift in the baseline 1.6 GHz signal. The transmission was no longer broadcasting as a simple, repeating digital pulse. It expanded into a complex multi-layered data bus, carrying dense streams of binary-coded sequences, interspersed with precise spatial coordinates. When Chief Scientist Eric Bard cross-referenced these coordinate streams against orbital mechanics models, the vectors mapped directly to specific stellar pathways, deep space Lagrange points, and planetary orbital planes. The subterranean engine inside the Mesa was actively routing data out through the global fault line network, using the Earth itself as a planet-sized distribution system to communicate across deep space. The implications of this cosmic connection sent a chill through the room. The installation beneath Skinwalker Ranch was behaving as a master relay node, a planetary transmitter built to monitor terrestrial conditions, process high-density energetic data, and broadcast real-time telemetry into the cosmos. The localized time dilation, the room temperature superconductivity, and the floating zero-mass core were all functional components of an interstellar communications and spatial manipulation station. As the presentation drew to a close, Brandon Fugal addressed the safety and security protocols required for the next phase of the operation. With the entrance tunnel unsealed and the primary core exposed to surface diagnostics, the risk of external interference or accidental feedback had elevated exponentially. The team authorized the immediate installation of a permanent, high-security monitoring containment structure over the mouth of the tunnel, equipped with environmental seals, electromagnetic shielding, and 24-hour quantum magnetometer arrays. This baseline station was designed to protect the integrity of the underground site while allowing the scientific crew to begin systematic, non-invasive diagnostic tests. The discovery had forever altered the scope of the investigation. The exploratory era of hunting for fleeting lights in the Utah sky was over. The scientific team at Skinwalker Ranch was now standing inside the doorway of an ancient, hyper-advanced planetary interface, preparing to take the first cautious steps toward understanding the language, origin, and ultimate purpose of the machine hidden beneath the mountain. The decision to deploy a permanent, high-security diagnostic station over the tunnel's entrance marked the beginning of a meticulous, non-invasive analytical phase. Rather than risking a physical collapse by clearing the central vault with heavy earth-moving equipment, Chief Scientist Eric Bard and Dr. Travis Taylor designed a multi-frequency diagnostic array. The goal was to establish a continuous, two-way telemetric link with the subterranean system using the baseline 1.6 GHz digital signal as an operational carrier. The team erected high-gain dipole antennas and phase-locked microwave transmitters directly around the perimeter of the tunnel opening and along the top ridge of the Mesa. These surface arrays were programmed to broadcast a structured, mathematically pure sequence based on fundamental geometric ratios, prime numbers, and the universal atomic transitions of hydrogen. The scientific hypothesis was clear. If the suspended zero-mass core operates as an automated intelligent node, it would recognize universally constant mathematical constants and respond through its established transmission channels. When the surface array activated, projecting its high-frequency mathematical stream down the vitrified shaft, the response from the Mesa was instantaneous and extraordinary. Wideband spectrum analyzers inside the command center didn't just record a routine power surge. The incoming 1.6 GHz signal altered its internal modulation within microseconds. The subterranean core intercepted the prime number sequence, processed the signal structure, and transmitted the exact same mathematical string back to the surface receivers. Inverted, mirrored, and phase-locked to the team's carrier wave. It was an undeniable, highly structured confirmation. The machine beneath Skinwalker Ranch was acknowledging the diagnostic probe in real time. Simultaneously, spatial monitoring sensors logged a profound physical reaction within the rock face itself. The deep 8.1 Hz, extremely low-frequency vibration hummed through the sandstone strata, locking into a precise harmonic frequency with the microwave signal. On the surface, Portable quantum magnetometers recorded localized magnetic field lines twisting into concentric, ring-like formations that expanded outward from the Mesa, temporarily shielding the immediate area from external solar radiation and atmospheric radio interference. The scientific crew watched in awe as the real-time telemetry lit up every screen in the trailer. They were witnessing the automated, self-sustaining activation of an electromagnetic dome, a protective envelope generated by the subterranean installation to maintain structural stability during high-bandwidth data transfers. The team was no longer looking at random, unpredictable phenomena. Every light flash, every magnetic shift, and every radio frequency modulation was executing as part of an organized, highly sophisticated command loop. Inside the command center, Brandon Fugal, Dr. Travis Taylor, and Eric Bard tracked the telemetry with total scientific focus. The data proved that the technology buried within the Uinta Basin is not a dead artifact left behind in the Earth. It is a functional, adaptive system designed to process, evaluate, and respond to intelligent inquiries. With the telemetric handshake successfully established and verified across multiple independent sensor networks, the scientific team at Skinwalker Ranch officially opened a direct line of communication with an ancient, non-human technology. The investigation had crossed the ultimate threshold, setting the stage for a new era of discovery that promises to redefine humanity's understanding of physics, space-time, and our place in the universe. The establishment of a continuous telemetric link between the surface transmitters and the subterranean core permanently altered the environment across the Uinta Basin. With the bidirectional data link active, the 1.6 GHz signal was no longer a fleeting, erratic interference pattern. It settled into an ultra-dense, stable telemetry stream, continuously streaming mathematical data between the surface diagnostic array and the zero-mass core suspended inside the Mesa. As the scientific team analyzed the incoming signal structure inside the command center, the physical landscape around the unsealed tunnel began to exhibit extraordinary optical and structural shifts. High-definition thermal imaging cameras and multispectral sensors trained on the cliff face captured a soft, luminescent glow bleeding through the sandstone strata. The stone itself, subjected to the intense 8.1 Hz harmonic resonance and the high-frequency microwave transmission, was converting structural stress directly into visible light through large-scale piezoluminescence. The dark face of the Mesa pulsed with a pale rhythmic violet aura that expanded and contracted in absolute harmony with the incoming 1.6 GHz data packets. Overhead in the triangle sector, the atmospheric anomaly responded in total synchronization. The vertical energy axis connecting the subterranean vault to the sky 5,000 feet above ionized the surrounding atmosphere, forming a shimmering, lens-like optical aperture. Starfields viewed through this aerial distortion appeared magnified and shifted, offering clear optical confirmation of a localized gravitational lens bending incoming light paths as they pass through the energy beam. Dr. Travis Taylor and Chief Scientist Eric Bard processed the telemetry logs in real time, uncovering a multi-layered stream of embedded data deep within the signal's subcarriers. The transmission was not merely echoing the team's diagnostic probes. It was broadcasting a vast index of precise spatial vectors and cyclic timing sequences. When supercomputers cross-referenced these mathematical ratios against astronomical database models, the coordinates aligned directly with specific stellar configurations, deep space orbital nodes, and planetary alignments, proving that the master node beneath Skinwalker Ranch maintains an active, real-time relay extending far beyond Earth's atmosphere. Inside the nerve center, the team watched decades of local folklore dissolve into rigorous, quantitative physics. The subterranean structure beneath the Mesa is an operational spatial engine, a planetary relay station designed to process, manage, and transmit high-density energy and data across interstellar distances. As the telemetry streams locked into an unbroken feedback loop, Brandon Fugal and the scientific crew recognized that the investigation had passed the point of no return. The ancient system hidden inside the mountain was fully awake, actively transmitting, and awaiting humanity's complete decoding of its final sequence. The confirmation that the subterranean engine inside the Mesa serves as an operational deep space relay brings this historic investigation to its ultimate jaw-dropping climax. What began for generations as frontier folklore, whispers of phantom lights, inexplicable livestock mutilations, and invisible forces haunting the Utah desert, has officially evolved into a fully documented, empirically verified scientific reality. Skinwalker Ranch is not an isolated spot of strange atmospheric glitches. It is the primary surface interface for an extraordinary, highly active planetary installation embedded deep within the bedrock of the Uinta Basin. Unsealing the vitrified tunnel and establishing a two-way telemetric handshake with the suspended core did more than just solve a centuries-old mystery. It permanently shattered our understanding of modern physics, forcing humanity to confront an entirely new frontier of reality. The staggering evidence uncovered during this landmark excavation establishes three undeniable, ground-shattering truths: an engineered subterranean complex, the 12-foot vitrified tunnel, sub-zero thermodynamic sinks, total magnetic flux expulsion, and the hovering 30-foot zero-mass core prove the existence of an artificial, room-temperature superconducting installation beneath the Mesa, a globally interconnected grid. Subsurface conduits following major geological fault lines, synchronized with matching 8.1 Hz magnetic pulses across planetary anomaly zones, confirm that the Mesa houses the master relay in a planet-wide energy and communication network. An active deep space interface, the instant mathematical response to surface probes via the 1.6 GHz frequency demonstrates that the zero-mass core is a hyper-intelligent, fully operational engine actively communicating across cosmic distances. We are standing on the precipice of a new era. The fundamental questions surrounding Skinwalker Ranch have shifted from asking whether these phenomena exist to deciphering who constructed this vast interstellar engine, how many millennia it has operated beneath our feet, and what will happen as its deep space relay reaches full capacity. The ultimate answers to human origin, physics, and our place in the cosmos are no longer hidden among distant stars. They are waiting directly inside the heart of the mountain. If this mind-bending unraveling of the unsealed Skinwalker Ranch tunnel blew your mind, smash that like button to support the team's ongoing scientific disclosure. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an official breakdown as this historic investigation pushes deeper into uncharted territory. Now we want to hear from you. What do you believe is the true ultimate purpose of the zero-mass core and the deep space signal hidden inside the Mesa? Is it an ancient planetary defense shield, an interstellar gateway, or an alien monitoring station? Drop your theories in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Keep questioning the world around you, and remember, the truth is no longer out there. It's right beneath our feet.